Most of the time we get the cassette in. Like upper middle tier for Pioneer. I finally got my ribbon cable in the mail. This took almost a month to get to me, but it's finally here, and I'll be installing it into this Pioneer DEH-P960MP. So here's the ribbon cable, and the first order of business is getting this into the main faceplate. And you want to have the contacts facing up towards the white portion. You just slide that down and in, and you can just push down on the brown tabs to lock it into place. And then you can take the faceplate, feed the ribbon cable through that slot, and it'll reach into the main chassis. And I just slid it up at an angle so I can fit the arm through. You want to make sure to line the arm up with the gap right there. Push it back, and same thing on this side. Have it lined up, and then you can rotate the gear so that it brings the faceplate up. Here's a better angle. It'll line the holes up with the mechanism that the faceplate screws onto. Next, we have to fold this ribbon cable down and into that connector. Right now I'm moving it all the way down, and it looks like it gave me some slack, so now I can bend it the way I need to and get it into the connector. Once it's in, you'll see these two little ears lined up with that semicircle on the circuit board. Once it's in, you can go ahead and push on the white tabs, and that'll lock it into place. For this part, I suggest removing the faceplate from the bracket that holds it on, and you want to feed the ribbon cable through this middle bracket, middle clip, and straight back into the main chassis, and just put all the slack back into there. There's like a slider that you will line up with the main bracket on both sides, and you just want to fit that on there. You may have to push a little bit to get it to line up right, but it goes right on. And you just pull that down. You will have to put this spring on. The part with the more shallow bend will rest in the hole that's on the bracket, and then you just put the body of the spring onto where the screw will eventually go in. But there's a groove on this upper portion, very small groove, and that's where the other side of the spring is going to rest. So here I've got it resting in the groove, and then I'm just going to hold the spring in place as I try to line up the screw holes together, and it'll hold in place. So here you can see the end of the spring coming in through that little hole, and the spring is wrapped around the portion that the screw threads into, and at the top is that more bent part holding on and giving tension for the faceplate bracket to not rock back and forth. Next, we're going to feed this ribbon cable into the connector that it goes into. Usually the clips will have some sort of outline to follow so that you know that it's all the way in. Then I'm going to push down on this white locking portion. And that's good to go. I can put this ribbon cable back in. It's the portion with the big blue area. That's what goes on the circuit board. And you can just shove that in. This bar just holds the ribbon cable down. This bar holds down this little connector. Now all that's left is putting in the CD mechanism and covering everything up, putting the faceplate on and powering it up. Alright, I've got it hooked up to power and ground. I'm gonna push the source button. It's on. Let's see if the main display works now. And there we go. Thanks for watching, and feel free to enjoy my other videos. Subscribe and follow my Instagram page for future content and radios that I have for sale.